Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending November 2nd, 2022. So many people are confused today with this market. It can really be confusing. We're seeing good properties that are for sale. They're renovated, they're nice, they're shiny, they look new. They're good properties, but they're not selling. And when we look at the history, we can see they were previously listed at a certain price. And when you analyze that price, it's pretty much maybe what it should sell for. However, they had an offer night, so kind of implies that that's the price, but they want more. They're trying to generate multiple offers, and it didn't work. So then they relisted at a higher price. They listed at what the seller wants, which makes no sense in that particular situation. So it doesn't sell. It sits a little bit longer, and it's a good house. And then prices come down to where it was originally listed or even lower. And the biggest enemy of a listing is days on market. I don't know what their pricing strategy was. Maybe they had the right strategy, but the wrong initial price, and it just gets worse from there. Excuse me. Buyers are confused. They see this, they see how are they at that price, and buyers back off. When buyers get confused, they don't jump in, they back off. And sellers that are not getting the right data, it's hurting your listing. So it's important to have the right numbers. The numbers I'm talking to you about that on the chart, they are general for all the City of Toronto. It's a summary, it's an average. Some neighborhoods are down 10%. Some neighborhoods are down 30-40% from the peak. The neighborhood where you're in, whether you're selling or the neighborhood you're looking to buy in, that's going to have its own set of data. Those are the numbers you need to know. You've got to compare apples to apples. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we could talk about whatever's on your mind. There is so much confusion out there right now when it comes to real estate. There seems to be a disconnect in all sorts of levels. Buyers, they're not sure what prices should be or what they want to pay. Sellers, they're not sure what they should be listed at, and there's a disconnect between where buyers are at mentally and where sellers are at mentally. There's a disconnect with realtors. They're often not pricing properties properly or putting in offers that really don't make any sense and getting their clients all excited about numbers that make no sense. And you know, I analyze the numbers. I can see what's making sense and what doesn't. There's a big disconnect in general, even if you're not looking to transact in real estate and you're just curious about what's going on in real estate. The media is headlines are causing all sorts of confusion out there. It's so important just to kind of wade through and get past all the noise that's out there when it comes to real estate and really focus on what's really happening, which is what I'm going to show you right now. These are the real numbers. This is not prediction into the future, but what's happening right now. So we're going to start off with Toronto detached properties only. So none of these numbers are being skewed by semis or towns or condos. This is just for detached. Only the City of Toronto. So there's no Durham region or Peel region or York region numbers, just the City of Toronto. Broken down by a week for a whole year. The last week up to week ending November 2nd. 125 detached properties were sold in the city of Toronto. 25 of those were at $2 million or more. Now, if we kind of step back a little bit and see what's been happening with sales, if we look at the month of June here, sales seemed, compared to moving forward to where we are today, sales seemed much better and higher in June. They came down in July, but have been creeping up right up until now. So the fall sales were actually higher than what they've been over the course of the summer. Average sold price, although in general it's been coming down, it's been pretty steady over the last few months and actually climbing. Right now, average sold price is sitting at $1,702,000 for the average detached property sold in the city of Toronto for a week ending November the 2nd. The blue, that's last year's average sold price. The orange is this year. Average sold price right now is 2% lower than last year's average sold price. Average sold price is the orange. The blue here, this is the median price. Median price is currently $1,275,000, which is 10% lower than last year's median price. So this is, again, still broken down by week, but it's for 3 months. And when we kind of go back and look at average sold price, 3 months ago it was $1,674,000. Right now it's $1,702,000. So 25, 26, 27,000 or so, it's gone up. Not that much in a span of 3 months. And yes, I said it's gone up. This dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average, and it kind of helps to spot the trend a little easier than the peaks and valleys of a regular, the weekly numbers. And you could see that average sold price just slightly has been going up over the course of 3 months. And when we look at the median price, 3 months ago it was $1,350,000, now sitting at $1,275,000. So it's come down slightly, but it hasn't moved that much. Prices generally have been pretty steady in the detached market for the last 3 months. Sales. Year to date, City of Toronto for detached properties has 32% fewer sales this year versus last year. So big difference, almost a third less sales this year than last year. Listings are 9% fewer listings this year versus last year. And months of inventory is sitting at 2.3. Now, if we look at 3 months, months of inventory has actually been creeping down over the course of 3 months, which really helps to explain why price has really not come down. So that's what's really happening in the detached market for all the City of Toronto. If we break it down a little bit and look at City of Toronto by West, Central, and East Toronto, well, we could see other numbers and how different parts of Toronto really are reacting to the market right now. So here's West Toronto. 43 detached properties were sold. Average sold price jumped way up from the previous week to $1,461,000, and 6 detached properties were sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price is 4% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price is 7% lower than last year's median price. Median price for West Toronto is $1,205,000. Months of inventory for West Toronto is sitting at 2.7 months of inventory. Central Toronto, 31 detached properties were sold. 16 of those, more than half, were at $2 million or more. Average sold price shot way up, $2,802,000. $2,802,000 is 7% higher than last year's average sold price, and the median price of $2 million is 2% lower than last year's median price. In months of inventory, it's climbing up there, sitting at 3.6 months of inventory. But if we go back 3 months, months of inventory has actually been coming down slowly. Here's East Toronto. 51 detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price has come up to $1,237,000. 1,237 is 11% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price is $1,040,000 again for East Toronto, and $1,040,000 is 17% lower than last year's median price. Months of inventory in East Toronto is sitting at 1.1. It's pretty low, especially when we're thinking of how prices are coming down and how the market is supposed to be not so great right now. When you look at this 1.1 months of inventory, 3 months ago we were at 2.3. It's been coming down. Here's West, Central, and East kind of comparing to each other. The East has the lowest lowest average sold price, the lowest median price. It also has the highest sales normally, and the highest percentage of properties selling at list price or more. In this case, it's 39%. So more than a third of the properties in East Toronto are selling at list price or more. And months of inventory, again, sitting at 1.1 and the lowest days on market of 16. That's East Toronto. Let's take a quick look at semis. 39 semi-detached properties were sold. 6 of those are at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price came down to $1,175,000. And if we look at the summer and the fall, well, sales have come up over the course of the fall. We're doing more sales now than what we did in the summer. So average sold price of $1,175,000 is 13% lower than last year's average sold price. And the median price, $1,105,000, is 9% lower than last year's median price. And again, if we look back 3 months, not a lot of change. Not a lot of change at all. The average price 3 months ago was $1,160,000. It's now $1,175,000. So it's a $15,000 difference there in 3 months. $1,131,000 for median. It's now $1,105,000. Not a lot of change in 3 months. Months of inventory sitting at 1.5. It's been pretty steady the last 2 months. We go back 3 months, it looks like it's actually been coming down. It's been getting tighter, more competitive. Here's townhouses. 13 townhouses were sold. These are freehold townhouses. Really tough to get accurate readings when sales are this low. But 13 were sold. 4 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price is $1,337,000. 1,337 is 13% higher than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,355,000 is 19% higher than last year's median price. And townhouses, now remember, there's very few sales, difficult to get an accurate reading, but it just seems more of the more expensive type townhouses have been selling over the course of the summer, and average sold price and median price has been going up. Townhouses, these are, again, freehold townhouses. Months of inventory is sitting at 1.7 months of inventory. Here's condos. Now, for detached, I've been saying that sales over the course of the fall has been increasing. Not so much for condos. It looks like it's been coming down a little bit. So 151 condos were sold for week ending November the 2nd. 12 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price has come down to $721,000. $721,000 is 5% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $663,000 is 0.3% higher than last year's median price. Basically, it's the same. Let's look at 3 months ago. Average sold price was $721,000. Today, 3 months later, it's $721,000. I know it's the same. I'm not making it up. These are rounded numbers. Median price was $663,000. Today it's $663,000. I know it's the same. I had to double check those. It's hard to believe they're exactly the same, but those are the numbers. If you look at the 4-week moving average, not a lot of change in a span of 3 months with condo prices. Year to date though, 34% less condo sales this year versus last year. Listings, 9% fewer listings, and months of inventory has actually been creeping up over the last 2-3 months. It's now sitting at 4 months of inventory. You're basically in a in a balanced market when you're looking at condos. And here's a quick summary. You know, we would expect, the way the market is being portrayed, that months of inventory would be far more elevated for all property types. That's what we would expect based on what a lot of people are saying out there. And I know a lot of people are making future predictions. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. This is what's happening right now. Not a lot of change in the last 3 to 4 months. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.